going on? These are new here playing more RuneScape Dragonwilds. Welcome to our Daily Gaming XP Grind, episode 59. And right now we actually went and got rid of all of our personal chests full of bronze shields. Now this doesn't look like a lot, but it's actually quite a bit. I believe it's 7 whole chests, pretty much full of bronze shields. So I guess I really haven't done the math on that, but I know it's quite a bit. I'll go do some math on that really quick. But they came out of these, and then we grabbed the 2 from the fractured plains. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 16. So 32. What's that? 40. So 40 each. 4 times 7. What's that? 28. 280. I believe it is, right? So 8. No. So 7. Yeah. So 7 times 4. So 280 bronze shields. So it doesn't seem like a lot, but it actually quite a bit. So that's what we wanted to do. We were really hoping it would have took up a lot more space, but it really just didn't do that. So that's unfortunate, but I still think it looks pretty cool. I probably won't add a lot more to it, as we just wanted to sort of do something that we thought was going to look one way, and now it doesn't look that way. It wouldn't be that hard to sort of make a couple crates and then put them in there if we want to. But I think at some point we might actually do that, because we want to actually make more bronze mannequins. And now it's just going to be in a way. And if it had looked really cool, we probably would have just left it. But that's not the case. So we are just sort of knocking down our rune essence right now, as this is something we're going to have to keep doing to build up a ridiculous amount on the ground. I'm not sure when we're going to collect all this. I'd like to wait as long as possible and just have this an insane amount. Potentially just a record for me, because there have been times where I waited quite a bit. I think more towards the beginning, when I did some of the first episodes for this series, there was times when I had just had a ridiculous amount on the ground. So we're trying to go for maybe like 3 to 4 times that amount, but I'm not entirely sure, and these things always change. I sort of just have this really weird headspace where I just sort of wake up and I want to do something different for the day. And it's unfortunate, because this is going to be something that potentially we would have done behind the scenes, but we like to wait to see when these things respond, and it's really important that you do them right away. And then that is because you're going to want to make sure that you can start again as fast as possible, so that way you're not wasting any time in the game while you're trying to knock these out of the sky. But ultimately, we want to be as fast as possible and make sure that you're getting these as soon as you can, so that way you're not, like I said, just wasting time. And then this really doesn't take that long. We've gotten a lot better at it, and I keep missing a shot, but we have gotten better at it. It doesn't really take that long. Sometimes it can seem like eternity, but I really don't think that it is. I think what it is you've sort of done something so many times, and it's just going to sort of feel unbearable at times. I can't believe how many times I just missed that one. But once those are done, we like to jump over to these and come here and then grab these, and then we are going to, you can see we got quite a big piles building up right now. But once we've done all this, we are going to jump down here and grab this one. And then once these are done, we're going to go over to the Storm-Touched Islands. And actually, there's one more here that we like to actually get. Let's go ahead and grab this one. And once we've done that one, there's actually 2 here. So that's why we actually like this one quite a bit. And that one you grab both. So this is really actually a good one that you're going to have on your little map there, because I think it's really important that you get both. We're just going to take 1 second here before we actually start up again. I had to take care of something really quick, but let's go ahead and kill this wolf. He's actually level 3, so you're going to get a little more XP for killing him. That's another thing, to get more XP while you're working on an attack. If you want to kill creatures that are like potentially high level, but then obviously you're going to have other creatures flying around. They're going to pose more of a threat to you and then potentially put you in more danger. Interesting. I've never noticed that sort of circle around the planet. I guess it is. Not sure. But let's go ahead and go here and grab all this rune essence out the sky. But there's just so much. But that's sort of the plan, ultimately, to just sort of get an insane Oh my gosh. And now we're being attacked. We've got to run for our lives. But it's basically the plan. Get an insane amount of rune essence off the ground. And then from there, ultimately, once we get it all off the ground, and then we're going to die. But anyway, we get a bunch of rune essence off the ground. And then level up a ridiculous amount in rune crafting. It's really irritating, those guys. I mean, I think they're incredibly strong. I don't think it's fair at all. And I think it's actually quite ridiculous how powerful they are. So, I mean, I don't think I was hunted. I sort of think they were just sort of hanging around. But I think it's absolutely wrong that they're that powerful when they really should not be. They're just literally level, what's it, 4 creatures. And you basically instantly going to die. So, some people might say, oh, we can kill them. They're not that hard. Well, I think they are hard. And I've got a lot of time playing the game. And I think that they're just a complete waste of time. And you get what? A sack? A little sack when you kill them? That seems like an incredible big waste of time for me. It's so stupid. And then depending, maybe sometimes you'll get a third one, an archer. And then, oh, and if you're really lucky, maybe you'll get the guy with the shield. So I think it's just absolutely unnecessary. And I really disagree with it. But anyway, we are almost done getting all these knocked down. But you can see we've got enough lodestones in each different spot. It's important to pick up dwellberries if you're already over here. We haven't really been doing that. But you're going to want to put yourself in a position to ultimately take advantage completely of all the different things that are going to be around you. I've also put a little bit of those right there. You can see those are all my lights. I put those there because it can be dark here at times. And I don't like to do things out here in the dark. You can see I've already died once. And it's because the area is incredibly dangerous. And it's somewhere I really don't like to spend a lot of time. Unless I'm killing sheep and ram. And even then it can be a little bit troubling sometimes. But ultimately I used to spend quite a bit of time here. And that's why I've got like over... I don't want to overestimate, but I want to say that I've got at least 1,800 ram horns, but I'm not sure how many you get per kill. So I'm not going to sit here and say that I've killed that many rams, because I actually don't think that's how it works. I think you get a couple horns per kill, but I'm not sure. Look at all these different rams and sheep. And they're all going to run this way. So maybe we can get them all. We got almost all of them. One went the other way. But that's quite good XP. Look at all that, though. Actually, that was terrible XP. All those rams and sheep. And I got 111 XP. That's what I'm talking about. It's crazy. And we got to get the heck out of here. Because now this guy's going to want to shoot us. We're probably not going to make it in time. It's how it goes. He sort of sold me. It's too late. But looks like it's just terrible attack XP. I know we're only in a level 2 area, but I still think it's crazy. What's this? So the ram's giving us 55 of the XP. I don't know. I guess it really doesn't matter anyway. We're going to have to get the XP. I just think it's kind of crazy. So let's go ahead and kill this guy. And then we're going to go over here and grab some more dwellberries. Obviously, we're grabbing all these berries because this is going to help us level up in cooking, which is something that also just takes a ridiculous amount of time. But so each sheep looks like it's worth 27 XP, which is not a lot of XP, but I think ultimately, regardless, it gives us a little bit of resources. Not that we're really interested in artisan XP anymore, but I still think that it gives resources that I can use those for. So regardless, I'm not going to lie, sometimes it's just fun to kill creatures. So, and it does give us a little bit of XP. I know a lot of people have been talking about Slayer Masters and when they're going to sort of integrate that into the game. Integration of that is going to be incredibly difficult because they've already discussed that basically they want to integrate it into the game. But the problem with it is that they've got a lot of other things on their plate, and ultimately it would be a little bit tricky at this current time when they're just trying to get the Fell Hollow into the game and sort of get the groundwork for that set up. So in that regard, I completely understand. You're just trying to lay out fundamentals for the game. And then once you've sort of got a couple foundation skills into the game, beyond what came out in release, then you can really push forward with something new and start to really tweak things and sort to build a different kind of foundation for the game. But until you have done the basics, I don't really think you can run off and do something like that. I think that's completely different. And I think it puts it to a completely different area because when you talk about Slayer Master and sort of sending people all over the game, at this current time in the game, I guess there's really not a lot of places that you might go to actually kill creatures. Um, but that doesn't necessarily mean you couldn't introduce it into the game. I just think it would sort of leave you in a place where you're going to be sort of journeying to a lot of the same places that you've already done. So I don't necessarily think it would maybe do what people think it would do. But obviously, there's lots of interest in the game and then potential for what's to come in the game. So obviously, just all good things about RuneScape Dragonwilds in the long run. And I know that some people still aren't really sold on this game yet, but I'm very certain that in time, that the RuneScape Dragonwilds community team will continue to introduce and give us amazing content that will sway people to sort of jump on board. And if they don't ever decide to jump on board, that's fine, because that just means more RuneScape Dragonwilds for all of us who do enjoy it. So we've just sort of accomplished this, and I don't really want to run around and collect cabbage again. We did that last video. I suppose we could work on cooking a little bit. I don't think we did an XP update, so I think we could actually do this, and it really wouldn't hurt anything. Let's go ahead and pull out some cooking potions, and I guess we're going to go ahead and pull out all this food really quick. I don't know what's going on here. Am I clicking on the wrong chest? It seems that's what's happening. Let's go ahead and grab all this food, and then maybe by the time we've got it all in, it'll sort of turn to nighttime, and then we can just go ahead and collect it. But let's make sure we actually use a cooking potion, as we don't want to lose any cooking XP while we're actually doing this. You know, it's actually quite crazy. I actually quit vaping today, and it's been horrible. It's been utterly horrible. And I had to stop because it was creating health concerns, but it's been very difficult. But I really didn't have much of a choice because the health concerns that it was causing for me were actually like breathing stuff. It made it incredibly difficult. So I didn't really have much of a choice. But at the same time, I think it was a great thing. I'm obviously happy that I did it, but it's just been a little bit tricky. I've been chewing a lot of gum lately because it's just been, you know, you so used to having the vape. And but anyway, I think it's a great thing that I'm quitting overall, and I think it was just something that's kind of hard to do. But obviously, I found a reason that made me want to stop. I mean, obviously, there's plenty of reasons not to smoke, but I think ultimately this was a deciding factor when you can no longer really eat and sort of just function in the world. So I think that was a great reason to stop. So it looks like it's not going to be nighttime. So it looks like we need to find something else to do between now and basically when we can go to sleep. So I think we're going to go ahead and kill some rats. When this is all over, we're going to collect all the food, and then we're going to do an XP update. But so maybe we'll kill some other rats after we kill these. There's a little bit more on our teleport lodestone, which we always go kill. So we're probably going to go kill them. I wish there was a way to sort of speed up time in a game without having to actually wait. I guess I could lay in a bed, but that seems like a complete waste of time for you guys. You're all watching right now, potentially, and we wanted to make sure you're getting content, not watching some guy lay in a bed. So I think that's a little bit ridiculous. So let's go ahead and get these guys killed. It looked like I could collect this as a stone. I thought it was the crate. So let's go ahead and kill this guy, and then we're gonna jump this way, and let's kill some more rats. But, you know, it's interesting. I don't really need any more of this. I think the only thing I'm going to need is, what is this? We are getting animal bones, right? I think we are. We are not getting any animal bones when you kill rats. But I think that would have been actually a really good thing, because obviously animal bones are going to be really useful in cooking, and they're going to be useful in prayer, I'm almost certain. So I think even though we're doing a lot of things in a game that don't necessarily seem like they have this huge overall purpose, I think a lot of them are. Even though I guess I just stated I'm not really getting any bones, so I think it's important to kill a lot of sheep and ram as well. But we are getting attack XP, which is going to be very important. So there's 4 cows. This is one of my favorite places to get cows, as they spawn here in just such a large amount. Hopefully, by the time we're done out here, just sort of killing all these different things, it can be closer to night time, so we can get back and go to sleep and then collect all the stuff from cooking. I'm not expecting to get a ridiculous amount of cooking XP anyway. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think that it's just going to be some little improvement like it always is, and that's actually fine because we've already sort of come to terms with the fact that cooking's going to take a ridiculous amount of time, and I don't necessarily think that the animals in Fell Hollow are going to give a lot of cooking XP, but what I think is going to give a lot of cooking XP in Fell Hollow is going to be the trees and the bushes. So I never really thought about that. I've talked about it quite a bit, but I actually think the determining factor is actually going to be that, which is crazy because I haven't really thought about that a lot. But potentially just the bushes that you can pick. It's just interesting. Will all these different plants and things even hold their importance in once the game changes? Because if you think about it, what's going to happen is basically you're going to have a higher level HP, and then the things that you used to eat that used to be enough are no longer really going to be enough to feed you when you're in battle. So I think it's going to be quite interesting. That's obviously not going to really affect anything to do with XP that you're going to get. I think that's just something I sort of thought of. But these ridiculous sheep. That's why I can't wait for range to come to the game. I could have obviously been attacking with magic, but I wasn't. But it's still quite irritating to get in a situation like that. But what's this going on over here? Just some more ore I had never picked up. Iron ore. I could have swore it said runite ore. But that's because I need glasses, apparently. Maybe we can get this guy. Oh, we got trouble up on the mountain. I just hate those guys so much. They bother me quite a bit. So let's go ahead and kill this guy. Nightfall is coming relatively soon. We can actually shoot these down. I don't know how we missed these when we came out here earlier and we were knocking everything down. Now these guys are over there, so we got to be incredibly careful. But we definitely want to shoot the rest of these down. So that way we can add to the amount that's sort of sitting here. Let's see if I can get these without having to come too close. It's too late. We're about to get attacked. Hiya. It's just stupid. I think it's really ridiculous and frustrating that basically everything you're going to do, you're going to die out here. I think it's worthless. It just really irritates me beyond belief. You should be able to play the game without one creature coming around and attacking you and just completely annihilating you. And where's my body? Let's see. I guess it might be over here. That's right. It's going to be at the Hebel Stone. But ultimately, I think it's absolutely ridiculous. And there's not much I can do about it other than complain. But, oh well. So, I don't know what happened there. It was like almost like I couldn't take all of it. I don't see anything on the ground. So, I'm not sure what that was about. Usually, it just picks everything up for you. So, maybe we could shoot this one down without getting killed again. There we go. So now we're going to go back to our base, and then we are going to... I mean, I guess we'll run over here really quick. We've got a little bit of time. We got some sheep. It's just, I really wish there was more things to do in the game. More animals to kill, more creatures. It's just sort of repetitive. It's a little bit brutal. But I guess I should be grateful that it will be done once it's done. And I won't have to go back and do any of this. So I guess that's like a little benefit. But obviously, it's still not anything really changed in the fact that it's still the same thing over and over and over. But interestingly enough, that's what RuneScape 3 is, an old school RuneScape, which I actually like quite a bit. And I played for like 20 years. So it's like not really anything different between the two. I think it was just, maybe it was the fact that there was a community, sort of, like this is a survival game, so there's not really people walking around me all the time, whereas I felt like we were all sort of on an adventure together, even though we were all playing our own character, we were all still working towards one goal, and even though that goal wasn't necessarily like, my goal was my own, I still think that's what made it different. That we were all playing the same game, even though we weren't necessarily, working on, like, we all had our own mission and stuff. But this is wild. It just never seems to end, to be quite honest. I just can't catch a break. I think I'm being attacked by I think, yes, I'm being attacked at my base, so I'm not sure. Like, I've definitely got to try to put some things away right now, but my inventory looks a little bit weird. We got all those guys in one swing, so that was kind of nice. Let's see if we could put this stuff away in here. Hopefully we didn't grab too much of the cooked food, because I really want to get the correct amount of XP for it. What's this? Let's see. We got quite a bit. I obviously want to keep those out because that's going to be XP for those. Put this here. Everything looks to be pretty good. So we'll put this over here. But no, ultimately, I'll be excited once more comes to the game. As far as creatures to kill. It's going to be pretty brutal if nothing else comes to the game with range. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to feel that way. And it's gonna hurt a lot. I think the reason and the difference between RuneScape 3, old school RuneScape, and this game is actually that in RuneScape, the other RuneScapes, you could kill a creature 2,000 times. And you potentially might get this really rare drop. And I think they've already talked about it a little bit, whether or not they'd have those sort of rare drops in this game. And I really don't think that it's possible. What they stated was that it's not really built on a game like this. It's not made for a game like this, which I can understand. And at the same time, it just means that whatever does drop is what's going to drop. But anyway, we got 4,248 cooking XP. I don't think we have to wait for it to be nighttime anymore. We already got all of our cooking XP. So let's go ahead and do an XP update. We'll sort of send you guys off, and then obviously next episode, I believe, is episode number 60, which is quite crazy. So for attack, we've got 293,000 attack XP. Obviously worked on that a little bit. We've got wood cutting sitting at 1 million XP. We've got construction at 2,009,000. Rune crafting 519,000 XP. But once we pick up all the nodes that we've been dropping down, that's going to go up substantially. We've got magic sitting at 81,000. We've got mining sitting at 4,061,000. We've got artisan sitting at 4,094,000, and cooking sitting at 220,564 XP. So obviously, cooking has been leveling up, or should I say, getting more XP. But as we all know, the problem with cooking is it's ridiculous. It takes a ridiculous amount of time. So not much we can really do about that except keep working on it. And it's brutal, that's for sure. But we're already almost on level episode. Why do I keep saying level? We're already almost on episode 60. And I think that ultimately range will come to the game relatively soon. It seems like it's an eternity away. But obviously once it comes to the game, hey, it's going to bring new things to do. And I think it's going to definitely change the game quite a bit. Hopefully a lot. And hopefully for the better. But this is basically where we're at right now, and we've got a lot of work to do in the game, and I think we can do lots more really cool things. So we hope you guys are enjoying your time in RuneScape Dragonwilds. We hope you're enjoying the content that we bring you. And until next time, Legion Looter out.